So in this episode, there was definitely a lot of moving parts, so much so that I had to do notes on it. And looking at the notes, there are a lot of moving parts. So the first note I did write was Mr. Blight asked for 10 healing ointments from Mikoto because he says that his students come to class hurt. So that'll come into play later in the story, but I just want to mention it now. The next point I make was that we get introduced to 3 girls that entered Mikoto's class today. 2 of them were sisters that we met in season 1, but the last one was, a brand new girl. The character name is Karen, or whatever. And then after the lesson, Mikoto, he pretty much finds out that the true identity of this current person is the Demon Lord General, Demon General of the army. And subsequently, this Demon General lady was the same that we saw a few episodes ago when her and her fortress, I guess her army, were battling the heroes party, we saw a few episodes. So that was the same Demon General. Just wanted to mention that. The Demon General mentions a couple interesting things. One, that she wasn't the one who killed Karen. She said, it seemed like her friends killed her, and then I was just there to kind of just take her identity. That's it. So there's a question about who those friends are. If I had to guess, they're probably also other students. If I had to guess, probably someone has a grudge or something, or someone was I can see a scenario where she was poking her nose too far into a certain business. Then she was getting too nosy for her own good, pretty much. And then I guess the leader probably sent a hit out on her and said, his plan was probably to get her secluded here, and then since there's no witnesses, it'll be a perfect opportunity to kill her. And then they probably hope that her body, her remains died in the whole battle too. So there's that. And she was also the same person that we saw in episode 2 when a female student offered a male student if he wanted any shortcuts to become even more powerful. So I wanted to mention that too, that we have seen this character act very shady with the whole backroom deals, I guess. And then when I mentioned this too, I want to mention this too. So when Mikoto called her a hornless demon, she kind of got defensive and really mad, and she was like, "Well, I'll kill you if you call me that again." And so it just makes me wonder. I'm kind of curious, maybe one of the reasons maybe she got mad was because when she was a little girl, something happened to her. Someone forcefully took out her horn, and that's why she's so protective over it. It wasn't that she lost it, it was that someone forcefully took it from her, and she had absolutely no control because she was a little kid. So that's what I'm guessing happened to her. And then she reveals that the main reason she's even at the school is because she wanted to observe a secret human experiment. So I'm gonna probably mention that also at the end. Part of my theories, I want to mention that now. So after the dinner, Mikoto goes back to his shop, and then coincidentally he meets the spy of Toys, and that's when he asked, like, can you investigate the city for me? Cause cause he says, there's about the rumors about the demi-human trafficking, and it seems like he wants the spy to look into it, see what the hell. He agreed, obviously. And then when he went to check it out, it turns out, where they're holding these people, or not holding, but where this place is actually on campus, but like a very remote place. And then we see inside Mr. Blight. Seems like he's like drawing something or writing something, or he's looking at some kind of poster. And then when the spy infiltrates, and he observes what happened in this building, he sees empty clothes, like just laying there, clothes laying there, they're brand new, and like it seems like people were in those clothes, and then poof, something happened to them to make them disappear. And then those are kind of the leftover clothes, because they disappear. And then after the spy does some investigating from behind, this random student comes from behind, and we don't really know his identity. All we know is that he's a male and he's a student there. So whoever it is Mr. Blight's, I'm guessing, his partner. But my theory is that he probably organizes, like, okay, we're gonna abduct this person and in this way, and then delivers them here. And then it's actually him, the student, who, once he gets these people, it seems like my theory is that he probably turns them into demons, and then at the same time he teleports them, probably back to his headquarters or somewhere. He teleports them somewhere, and that's why there's leftovers clothes on the floor. Now, my first theory on this is that the demon general is at school. The reason she's at school is because she said she wanted to observe a secret human experiment. Now, she didn't really say what this experiment was, but there's two guesses. One, she was probably responsible for, like we saw in season 2, those two girls when they were, turned into demon. She's probably there to kind of observe the after effects, like how they're doing, kind of situation, just to observe them, because now they're like cured from that. So I wonder if that's the reason she's there. Just a theory. The other theory is that she's actually there because she wants to observe this demi-human trafficking experiment. Yeah, but I wanted to go back to when I said Mr. Blight asked Mikoto for the 10 ointments in the beginning of the episode, and he said, his students always comes to class, hurt. So I have a theory. So what if he used that as an excuse? So when he abducts people, and they come to him like kind of hurt or injured sometimes. So this is probably the way to make sure they're 100% healthy. So after he uses the ointment on them, make sure they're 100% healthy, he then sends them to that abandoned building we saw, and that's where, you know, something happens. I'm guessing probably they turn into demons or they're teleported somewhere, or even both. Like I said, I don't really know. These are just theories I'm kind of throwing out. See if you guys, you know, agree with me. But overall, there's a lot of little things. There's a lot of moving parts in this episode, but it does get me more excited for the future of the show because, yeah, there's just a lot of moving parts, and like I said, there's a lot to figure out. And the exciting part of this show is that since there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of it just makes the viewer like it feels like after every episode the viewer is left with like not more questions but more the more revealed, the more questions there is about it, like why are they doing this or whatever. So like those kind of questions, and it's kind of exciting to get for a show to do that to a viewer. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of make this video real quick just to share my thoughts and opinions of this episode, and you know, it just gets me more and more excited for the future of this episode. And you know, it gets me excited because this is like we're still like around episode 8, I think, and there's like 25 episodes in total in this season, so that part really gets me excited. And one thing I did want to mention before I ended last video, I didn't have a chance last video, so my theory of the overarching stories is that what if after, you know, because we know that Mikoto and this group, they're planning to you know, attack or go into battle against the goddess. And assuming Mikoto, you know, wins, becomes the god, I feel like he will eventually like marry or fall in love with the female hero, because there was signs of it too. Like a couple examples, I'll throw out 2 examples. So the first example was that it was coincidental that at the same time, I think she wasn't really introduced that episode, but it's funny how when she was mentioned, like I believe it was 2 episodes ago, when she was like mentioned and she was talked about, at the same time Mikoto was talking about marriage, and he was like, oh, these girls, like, they send me marriage proposals, and that's nice and dandy. And he also says, you know what, like he has a very wholesome thought about marriage, and he says, oh, when you marry people, like, it's supposed to be out of love, and these girls, or the girls in this world, only want to marry you because you have status and power. And he just mentioned that, like, marrying out of love, and not to mention, like I said, Mio, when she first met the female hero in her party, well, the female hero, she said, like, we saw the first thought she had when she saw the female hero was that of Makoto. So I just wouldn't be very surprised if, like, Makoto does end up marrying the female hero after you know, defeating the male hero, the goddess, and I guess defeating the empire too. And you know, Mikoto becomes this god, and then because they're married, the female hero would probably become some kind of goddess too. So that's just a theory I thought of. But yeah, overall, I like this show, and I hope you guys feel the same way. But think I'm just gonna end it there. Please do like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.